Traders, welcome. Hope everyone's good. Okay, episode 2, rate my trades. This is ZB Futures. This has been sent in by Max, who is mainly focusing on Eurex products these days, as well as still dabbling in the treasuries. So this is a 12-minute video segment. This trade is a little bit of nostalgia, considering how crazy the market is at the moment. I think it was like things maybe carried out in October, November last year. So we're basically going to cover some of the scalping that's ran through in this video. So a couple of prerequisites for this video. Max said that on his other screens he's got some of the correlations up, probably got the 5-year and 10-year up, maybe looking at some of the cash market for the bonds side of things in terms of yields. So for any of you guys that are not familiar with treasuries, we're going to quickly run through what you're seeing on the chart here. So we'll start from complete left to right. So left is just a volume profile. There's no numbers on it. It just shows you the thicker the bars, the more volume there is. This looks to be a delta profile that is carried out. So the size it's coming in, not too sure on the exact coloring, but I'm assuming blue is going to be buying that's coming in. Then we have the price column, pretty self-explanatory. Every one tick on ZB is 31.25 bucks. Tick to commission ratio, best in the industry. You're talking 7-8 ticks for standards commissions. This is the orders that are waiting on the bid for buying. This is orders that are hitting the bids, so the red numbers are hitting into the bid, so selling. This blue numbers is orders lifting into the offer, otherwise known as buying. These two columns are what we call an order flow. They're called inside prints. This is orders that are waiting on the offer to sell, so passive orders. This is the total orders column. So let me explain what that is. There's 912 orders here, contracts, sorry, waiting on the offer, of which there's 100 total orders. So if you do some quick math, the average here is roughly 9, say, just for easy math. The average order size is 9 contracts waiting on this price. Okay, so that covers the DOM. Now we have a basic candlestick chart here of ZB, so we can see it selling off. This looks to be a 2-tick range chart for ZB. This is delta for the session, so this just looks to be a delta profile on the footprint. This looks like potentially a weekly delta composite at the far right. And that is pretty much it. Now, back in towards the later part of last year, in Q4, it was much more relaxed. There was a lot more backticking. Trump had not done his tariff things and started saying loads of mean stuff. So the market was really chilled. I think the move index was probably situated around about the 85-90 mark, and we were coming up to the roll at this period as well. So obviously in today's market, it's completely different. Treasuries are far more whippy. There's a lot more pulling and quote stuffing, and there's just not as much total volume. And you'll see when we run through this video just how this works. So we'll play. This is a 12-minute video. We're not really going to skip it. We're just going to press the play button and see how Max is doing here. So we can see that the market is selling off. We've just ticked 431 here into the bid. Continue reloading here on the bid, so which is nice. So okay, so we've placed the bid here. We should be filled pretty quickly. We can see we're 64 in the queue out of 336. Market ticks up, which is a good sign. So there's clearly some size here at the tick low of the day. So some two-way on this price. Okay, we should be filled here any second. Prox 39 in the queue. Max is trying to talk here, I feel, but there is no volume on this. Okay, nice. So we're filled. Okay, so very quickly, which was good, is it was cleared. They instantly lifted 72 back in and then went bid. So it's currently 419 versus 209. Okay, with 82 combined orders versus 70. So when you're in this position right now, you're obviously bidding the low of the day, so this needs to go very, very quickly. This is not a trade that you're, sitting and faffing around in. When you're in this and this goes bid like this, you need someone to instantly press in and lift the offer and clear this. So really, 50 contracts, then this 209 will pull and it'll likely clear, especially if some size comes in. Okay, so let's see how that happens. Okay, nice. So they lift it, then goes bid again with a decent enough bid. We want to see this continually stay strong, but still on this price down here. So we tick 5 up into the offer, and you're still here. You want to see this bid remain strong. Max has just cleared the inside prints here. Okay, so we want to see something press into the offer here. Okay, this is good. 277 lifted. Some actual size came in, which is nice. You can see there's someone definitely here though, right? They've lifted 277, someone is there. So in an ideal scenario, that would have pulled, they're then reloading, the bid is slightly cancelling, so we want to see this clear. Okay. Still someone definitely there. Nice. Okay, we're out. Okay, so 2 ticks. So we're just going to keep a running tally of how we're doing here. So there's 2. Just recentered. Okay, so that was a good 2 ticks, to be honest with you. I like that you didn't hesitate to get out because you see there's actually someone there. Uh, Someone is willing to passively absorb at 26s there. So there's likely one firm has just specifically stopped the market there, dead. So I like it. You're bidding again. Okay. Okay. Balls of steel, but I like it. You can see there's so much more two-way in how the market's trading versus now. That's why the thumbnail for the video is going to be nostalgia, because it seems a world away of where we're currently at. Okay, so we're just going for the one tickaroo. So really slight nuance here, and I like what Max is doing. If I can, let me see if I can rewind this a little bit. I can. Okay, so notice how when Max gets filled here, he then drags this down. So this is currently now when he lets go of his mouse, this is currently locked in, right, for the one tick. And notice now he then drags this down, but he's not letting go of his mouse. So this is a really slight nuance, but I like it. So basically what he's doing right now is the actual order routing, so whatever he's using here, if it's Teton or Rhythmic or whatever, currently has his limit order placed at 25. So if some size comes in and lifts, he'll get out of it. But he's dragging down his order. If this bid clears, so if 413 clears here and it goes offered, he's instantly going to let go of his mouse and basically try and scratch is the plan of attack. So really, really like that. Slight nuance. I don't know if people are doing that. People that do candlestick charts, this is like some sort of Chinese medicine that we're talking about, but um, this is the way to do it if you're looking to scalp for a few ticks at a time. So really nice. Now, you still want here probably 200 lifts in here, the rest will cancel. So a couple hundred contracts lift into the offer and you'll get out at 25s. There we go. Nice. Very nice. So we are +3 tickaroos at the moment, which is good. Good going. Good going. But again, so we've been, this has now been like what, 3.5 minutes? We've been a 3 tick range. Very standard for bonds when it's nice and calm. Okay, the offer just pulled a little bit. They just cleared that with 98. Then they've hit back in 164. You can see that here. Okay, there's some MBO there. So 224s just showed up on the offer. So some real sizes offering here, not just smaller algo trades. Okay, nice, like it. So instantly you can see here, there is 1,394 lifted into the offer, so there's real passive orders waiting here. Buyers have lifted in, and there's huge amounts of absorption. So Max has spotted this, and he is looking to try and capitalize on a couple of ticks. Okay, so we're scratching here now. Let's see if you take the scratch here, mates. Okay. Unfortunate that then the bid instantly cancels, but that's just the way it goes. And this is a great thing about ZB is the tick to commission ratio is that good that you can scratch like 7 times and only take a tick on the 8th and still make money. You can't do that in many other markets. So there is nothing wrong with taking a scratch. So we're offering again. You're going to drop that. Okay, so we're taking a tick, doing the same thing. Not loving how, there's not that much on the offer and the combined orders is less, but again, if they hit any size in here, they will cancel like that. So let me rewind this a little second just so we can discuss this. So you can see there's 740 currently sitting on the bid with 96 total orders. Also, there's 100 contracts in one clip waiting on the offer here. So very common. This 740 is not real, and that's essentially what Max is counting on here. If a couple hundred contracts comes in, people at the front of the queue and the back will cancel, and then likely you're currently 693 on the bids right now with your limit, waiting to get out for your one tick. If a couple hundred contracts comes in one clip, these guys will likely just cancel, and then you'll instantly get out of your position. There. So you can see there was 740 and 169 contracts have hit into the bid and you're out. So everyone is just cancelled. So you're capitalizing on that because this is still the same price within this 1 to 2 tick range where there was like 1,300 contracts absorbed. Okay, so slight nuance there. I'll just continue watching, but we're still just scalping around here, just taking, this is a great thing about treasuries, just scalping 1 or 2 ticks at a time. I don't actually think he's even had 1 tick of max adverse excursion yet, which is impressive. So we're bidding 2-way, okay. I think we're still +3 at the moment. You guys can keep a track in the comments if my math is correct, through either +3 or +4. Nice, okay, so we took a tick there. Good. Yeah, it's +4 now. This is good, just easy, no stress scalping, just reading the flows. But you need a thicker book for this. Try and do this in ES, you'll get absolutely abused. That's why you need to know your markets well. Okay. So again, the same tactic where he's pulling his limit down in case this gets cleared. So if this bid gets cleared, he's instantly letting go of the mouse to get out. And he needs some size. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this with the amount stacking on the offer, but hey, now he's about 50% in the queue because of all the cancelling. So again, same theory. Couple hundred lifts into the offer here and he's out. 16's not going to cut it, but we're close. Maybe about another 150 contracts or something. There's just nothing here on this bid, but there's just no sellers hitting it right now. I mean, there's 797 hit into the bid, but they're not clearing the price, which is nice. But you still need someone to lift here. One of the key differences too when the market is like this, when it was in October, November time, there's just not as many sweeps, so you can trade like this. Try trading like this in the current market and you just get run over. It's way too sweepy. You're not getting any decent fills. Okay, so we're out. Nice. That's +5. Good. Very good. So 8 minutes in, and we're plus five tickaroos. So even on one contract, that's circa $150. Not bad. Not a bad hourly rate. Nothing super fancy here, just spotting absorption, trading. Because there's a lot of two-way, you can capitalize on this. I think that's the main takeaway here. Okay, so we can see there's 336 lifted into the offer, even 506 now. Mm. Yeah, you definitely can't trade at this in the current environment. There we go. I mean, 700 just pulled. Now you've got a decent Q position, then you're out. I mean, awesome stuff. Awesome. Just the fact there's no sweeps happening. Bids cancelled, then it's went offered. Nice. So that's plus six. Again, not one tick of max adverse. Tell me a market that you can take these many trades, by the way, and not have a tick against you. Doesn't happen. This is the power of order flow. And if you've been living under a rock or you've not watched any of the videos, I advise you to check out the videos on the channel to see how you can actually trade like this. This is a fantastic example. So thanks very much for Max for sending this in. Well, we're waiting for something to happen here. If you guys want any of your trades reviewed, doesn't need to be treasuries, can be any market you want. It can be two flies. If you're bidding and offering two flies up a wall, send it in, we'll review it. You know, it's nice to look at different markets and see if we're missing a trick. But ZB, when it's nice and calm, 30-year is my favorite market. Over in the land of corn at the moment, as of start of May. It's just got way less sweeps at the moment. Again, there's 200 hit into the bids, continue reloading. You're just playing the ranges here. I would still like here if you are to keep the theme going, where you're still dragging your bid, yeah, like that. Awesome. Okay, it's like you read my mind. Because you know if that's away right now, you can just pull that down so that you're. Because any size comes in, they go off the bid pools. I mean, you're gonna if they clear this and clear this bid and then tick down, you're going to take two. You know, you're going to take the two ticks if they do clear this. So I would like to see always have this dragging down, in case it does get cleared. Hey, I think you are up five, maybe six after this. I have the attention span of a goldfish, so it may be six already. So since this video has been running, we've went from 23s to 30s, so we're in a 7 tick range, which is very standard for ZB. You're currently about 50% in the queue here into the offers. You need a couple hundred to tick in, so you can get out. And imagine Max right now is probably watching a 10-year to see what's happening at the same time. 10-year is like the dawn of treasuries, so if it lifts and clears a price, then ZB will likely do the same, or at least challenge the next offer. There we go. So just to quickly rewind and discuss the last trade there, it's just reset. So the last part is you can see the amount of cancelling that happens. So if we play this and watch, you'll see 80 total orders. The offer is slightly cancelling on the total orders column. And then you can see when size ticks in, so the lift up there, there's literally 500-600 contracts that just cancelled. And that is when you're offering for one or two ticks like that to get out, you're betting on the fact that when actual real size comes in, these firms are just cancelling 60-70% of the book. And the key difference here is there's just such a lack of sweeps. So you're not bidding and in the market's going off 2 to 3 ticks. Because if that happens, then this strategy's down the toilet, you know? So To recap with Max here, I think this was plus 6 or 7 ticks. Really, really nice trading. Really, I mean, geez, not even one tick against them on 6 or 7 executions here. He took a scratch in there that actually I think went for a tick. Um, name me a different market that you can do this on. It's not possible, right? Now, granted, it takes more screen time and you really need to be in flow, but it's the most controlled way to manage risk that you can in the market. So when you get efficient at this, now in the current market conditions, this is not a thing. If you're ever wondering when you can trade like this, the I would say a good rule of thumb is the bond index, so the move index needs to be below 90, 90, 95 at least. I'd probably say below 90, and then you can start looking for these types of flows, just because the lower implied volatility across the board, then the less likely there is to be sweeps, because market makers basically tighten their spreads, and they're more willing to transact on every price, just because there's less implied moves expected in both options and on futures. So this is a bit nostalgia that I think hopefully we can get the market back in the next couple of months so we can jump back over to treasuries. Um, but thanks very much to Max for sending this in. This is just to give you guys a sort of variation of how the market adapts and changes. Um, I think the other first episode was the Bund, so we're going to cover a host of different markets. It all depends on what you guys send in. I'll leave the email address to ping the video segments in. It's hello@mrorderflow.com, and then we can cover that in the future videos. But hope you guys have an awesome weekend. And if you've got any questions or you need any one-on-one, check out the coffee. Links in the description. But until then, you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend. Cheers, everyone. Peace.